Simon, you have no idea how I'm excited to speak with you in the CBC studios today. Thank you so much for coming in.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm excited for you because, well, tell me how you feel right now that you have the title.
Getting down of that small cloud that we were on Monday, me winning Mixologist of the year and as well the restaurant winning Best Restaurant of the Year. It's a big team prize, and in what I do, personally, I need the team behind me to back me up and to help me and to bump idea through all those kind of creation and the feedbacks and everything. So both of the prizes are big team prize from the Lauriers.
Well, congratulations to you and the team behind you. But explain to me how much of a team you need to work with in what you do. What do you do exactly?
Basically, I'm doing the floor at La Tanière. I'm working on the floor as the head bartender, taking care of the creation. One of the big piece of what I need to do is to create the non-alcoholic pairing, as well then the cocktail that we serve to the restaurant in a chef menu of 17, 18, 19 course, depending on the time of the season. So yeah, I'm there for the creation, but as well the whole team bring his idea. Chef brings some great idea sometimes that you didn't thought about. Other people like Roxanne, the maître d', will have a big background as well in sommellerie and in restoration, that they bring you all other idea that brings to just put at the end the perfect cocktail to pair with the food that we serve.
Mm-hmm. Because what people need to understand is that the philosophy of La Tanière, which is I think you understood listening to this conversation in just the first seconds, that it's a very gastronomic environment, but it is 100% sourced within Quebec produce. So you create in a context where you could only use local ingredients.
Yes, and that's a big challenge for me. No lemon, no lime, no citrus. What you use behind the bar for the acidity, usually. I do say a lot of time that verjuice, the mature grapes, to bring acidity, we use it as mustard in Germany. Everywhere in every sauce, but we try to discover different source of acidity through those. And
for example,
concentrate of cranberry. Sometimes just a little bit of it will bring not that much of the taste of the cranberry, but will bring that tartric taste, and that you get that tartric acidity.
Yeah, it's like biting into, those candies like sweet tarts.
Yeah, the sweet tarts.
That's what it reminds your palate of. Yeah.
That will bring you that. Playing for sure with vinegar, shrubs, and everything that it's sourced.
What's a shrub?
Basically, a mix between sugar, vinegar, and some flavor. Fruits, vegetable that you macerate for quite a while, then you bring, and it's ready to drink at this point.
So vinegar that's local, fruits that's local, herbs and spices that are local. You saying that it's a challenge, but I'm thinking that's impossible. Is it possible?
It's possible. We've been doing it for 5 years and quite exploring it and discovering new stuff through every time. A good example is one of the cocktails I'm serving at the moment. In the restaurant, you do move to different vault, and in the bar vault, it's a welcoming cocktail. Then if you go with a pairing, you have a non-alcoholic or either an alcoholic cocktail. And I'm working with the Hemingway daiquiri, classic from favorite of Ernest Hemingway in the La Havane back in the time. But he asked to add some grapefruits to his daiquiri and maraschino. But we don't have any grapefruits in Quebec.
Nope.
But through different tests, I'm playing with bitters, with infusion of alcohol and everything, we discovered that the goldenrod infused in alcohol do tend to develop a little bit that taste of white grapefruits. So we'll play with that to bring that flavor of the grapefruits.
So goldenrod, what's goldenrod?
The flower that you see at the end of the summer through the field. The field become quite all like a sea of gold moving to the wind. And that flower do have a really nice potential. one of our biologists did work and distillate 3 times that flour, would bring us the opportunity to do a pepper sauce because we don't have pepper. But the flour, when it's dehydrated and infused in alcohol, it do develop the aroma of grapefruits.
That's insane. You sound like you're talking about a science lab right now.
We're playing a little bit like that through it, playing with our fermentation, our kombucha. I'm taking care of the kombucha, the kefir, other fermentation. We do our garum in the kitchen and working on other stuff. I did a fantastic lately Worcestershire sauce, 100% from Quebec, except for molasses. I did consider it from the beginning of the colony that it was still a little bit of an ingredient.
How do people react when you serve them this traditional Hemingway daiquiri that is 100% local and, if I understand, without alcohol?
People do kind of react. They are quite amazed. They are not sure what they're going to taste. Either the non-alcoholic version or the alcoholic version brings really on the target of what the cocktail is. And it's to be playful with the menu because they are there for discovering food, discovering new flavor, new texture, and is what we give them on that level. They quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's interesting how you've mentioned a lot the fact that you work with non-alcoholic creations. I think that's a sign of trends right now. People are consuming less and less alcohol. Am I wrong to think that?
They consume better.
Oh, how so?
I think so. So they will consume maybe less alcohol, but they will choose what they quite enjoy, and they will drink better, but stay more like on the level that they keep hold their minds.
It's interesting that you say that, Simon, because still when I walk into bars, sometimes I feel as though that I'm someone who does not like to drink a lot of alcohol. I like to indulge in non-alcoholic mocktails because I feel that there's more, more pleasure in the variety of flavors and textures and mouthfeel that I can get. And I feel as though we're not treated very seriously. We're just, we'll give you a bar mix and we'll put a little bit of sparkling water in there and that's it. You're telling me that this is completely opposite.
For a while, it was that kind of trend, but now the best bar, the World 50 best bar in the world, the others, when you visit them, you do have always a section of non-alcoholic cocktail, and usually it's more complicated to do a non-alcoholic cocktail because you don't have that vector of flavor to it, but they tend to offer it. The group La Tanière, we do offer it in all the establishments that we have here in Quebec, and it's been from day one to offer that and to give an opportunity and not to have just, here's your Shirley Temple, here's your bar mix. We want to put forward the creation and as well the terroir on the same level that we can have in the plate. So now we see through all the different establishments through the world that it takes seriously. They do develop more and more of those, and people will tend to go with a cocktail and then go back to a mocktail just to calibrate their consumption of alcohol through the evening and stay at that level they want to be. And they quite enjoy the variety that we offer at the moment, and more we see it coming up through as well.
Now, I invited in studio, and I found it very fantastic to see you walk in this studio with a bottle, what looks like a perfume spray.
Yeah.
What looks like a perfume spray and what I believe are probably some form of dried berry. So what do you have here with you?
The perfume spray and the dry berry are not dry berry. It's in the family of the Szechuan pepper. You can smell it. It's Clavalier d'Amérique in French, but prickly ash pepper. It's one of the most expensive spices that we have in North America.
So I should only take one here.
If you take one, you'll have the feeling as you were putting a battery on your tongue. It's
that's
freeze
like
a little
literally
bit,
a Szechuan
and
pepper.
it brings like that flavor of the Curaçao orange, the bitter orange to it.
Let me bite into that. Oh, wow, bitter orange. Oh, my God.
Yes, and it grows on our terroir.
What?
Yes. It's the first spices that I asked chef when I started to work for La Tanière. So when I
I'm
arrive,
going to take the rest out because
that's
it's
okay.
quite intense.
It's quite potent.
Wow.
So this, we can infuse it through alcohol. That's the perfume butter. I'm using it to replace all the orange zest in a cocktail at the Vieux Carré, at the Origin, or at La Tanière. So by infusing it through alcohol, you can have the same expression than when you express an orange zest on your cocktail.
Simon, I'm completely fascinated. What was your reaction when you discovered this?
I discovered that quite a long time ago. I discovered that when I was working at the Saint-Amour with Jean-Luc Boulet. We had a little bit of it, and that was quite fantastic, and always wanted to work with. And the first time I met François Emmanuel, the chef of La Tanière, I said, I want some prickly ash pepper. And I remember the first year I had an allocation of like 15 grams of that for the whole year because we didn't have all the people that forage it and go pick it up as we have now. But it's still quite an expensive spice, and it's not as common as well. So yeah. We
It's
just want to
amazing.
exploit through non-alcoholic, through alcoholic cocktail. You can smell it for the perfume.
Please, so wow. Oh, can I literally wear this on me?
No.
This is, wow, okay. So do you use local alcohol? Oh my God, I just put that on my tongue. Like right now, I am living exactly, just so you understand if you're listening to this conversation, that prickly ash pepper on my tongue, that feeling is exactly like a Szechuan pepper. And it is exactly that bitter orange taste.
Carasso flavor that you
Exactly.
get. Yeah.
I mean, this is 100% Quebec's terroir.
Quebec's terroir, you do have some in Quebec. You do have a lot as well to the peninsula of Niagara. But it's really hard to forage. Basically, the branch have long spine that it just cut through. If you touch as well and you go to the sun, you burn your skin after that. But once you get all through that, the branch are usable. I did an infusion of branch like a tea that is quite fantastic. I'm using the leaf of that bush at the moment to do an Americano with the aperitif of Mono and Dylan's vermouth, and it's bring like that orange flavor that is quite fantastic. And yeah, the prickly ash pepper, we tend to use it and reuse it as well because it pack a lot of flavor to it.
What's the purpose of doing this? Like, why are you looking locally in order to create your
I had the chance to work with chef once I was back in Quebec. Had a chance to work with chef that really put forward the terroir. For a long time, it was really more on the farmer side for the vegetable, the market. Now we got like great éleveurs, great cheptel of like venison and buffalo and other stuff in Quebec. But the foraging, the wild part of Quebec, we still don't know that much. And even if you look through writing, old stuff, First Nation recipe and why they were using, you don't have all the flavor that they were packing and everything, and we're still discovering other of the flavor. And I love Quebec. I'm back in Quebec for 5 years because I love this city, but the terroir is quite amazing, and we don't know it as much then. So we have the platform in order to spread and to teach other people what we can do with it. And sometimes it's just some things that grows in your backyard or grow in the sidewalk, as the pineapple weed or anything like that. We just, people see it every day but have no idea that it tastes pineapple. So let's make different discovery for other people, then they can exploit those plants and enjoy them.
You are just bringing forward a complete different flavor profile to the province. We're not just about poutine and smoked meat and I mean, this tastes like bitter orange. You're talking about pineapple weed. So all of these flavors are available in our backyard, and we have absolutely no ideas.
The culture is not there yet, but we're getting it more and more. You can see on the social network, like foraging group popping up side, and it's still important to figure out as if you forage mushroom, is it a good mushroom, or can you use like the leaf, the roots, or anything like that? And we do our research on that each time we have a new plant. We have Fabien Girard in Lac Saint-Jean, that is a renowned biologist, that will tend to ask him questions about different stuff to make sure that we can use it, and he do line up quite well, and we do our own research to it, everything, and to get like that flavor profile and to have fantastic stuff in our plates, in our drinks.
So when you're using all of these ingredients and you're creating cocktail, whether with or without alcohol for your customers, what experience are you looking for? Are you looking for, just as a chef would work, for acidity, for a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of saltiness? How do you create that? The
creation for the cocktail, it's a little bit of all of that. You get the acidity, the bitterness, the sweetness inside it. For the alcohol, the potent of alcohol do change the trends of your cocktail, but for the non-alcoholic, it's a lot difficult to get the proper texture that you want to, and you play with all those flavor profile, all those sensation in order to get something that brings you something else, somewhere else. As the same, then when you do a pairing, you just don't want 1 + 1 = 2. You want 1 + 1 = 3 in your dish. So if you can get a non-alcoholic cocktail that completes totally the plates that you have in front, all your experience is just like upgraded to 1,000. And that's,
how hard is it not to take over the plate? Is it a challenge there as well?
It's a challenge as well, but we have a fantastic team that inside the kitchen, we trying the dish beforehand, we trying with the pairing, we tend to like, as the same, then the kitchen can adjust a little bit their sauce, their acidity, then we can do as the same in the cocktail. As the same, then the other product that I brought you, it was one of the first products that we did that. We started straight from the product to create a dish to pair with it.
So that is, can you tell me what that is? That's honey vermouth?
So that's honey vermouth, vert de miel, the green honey. It's from La Ferme des Rochers. They are high in the Haute-Laurentide, Ferme-Neuve. They do have fantastic honey to work with. To start, it's the anisette honey. It's his brother-in-law, Géraud, that taking care of all the distillation, the fermentation. They do bubbly, they do mead, sweet mead, but dry mead as well, and they have really. But the vermouth is quite one of the first that a lot of people don't know that much, but it's still available, and it brings really the flavor of les Hautes-Laurentides.
That was a nice popping sound. Thank you. Not too much because, I have a show to host.
It was a bit warm outside.
What's our... oh, wow. That's a beautiful, long conversation. I'm going to cut that a bit. Wow. So you can recognize that there's honey in there.
You can recognize, alcohol, but you get like to it the honey wine, the linden honey, but as well the balsam fir, the wormwood, the sarsaparilla, and they finish with a touch of propolis. So it's do taste like vermouth, bring something totally different. But when we create the dish of the cheese, we were working with the aroma of the vermouth to create the cheese in consequence to pair perfectly with it.
That's crazy. That's so good. It's so flavorful.
And it's from the terroir, so we don't have to run to Italy to find some amazing vermouth.
So if you take a look at the future and you have all these beautiful products around you, whether it be in the garden or whether it be through alcohol products like this one, where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Big question. Not sure. I decided to stay in restoration. I decided to stay. I do have a background in chemistry and biology, and I could wear a white lab coat at some point, but decided to stay on restaurant floor and love the job of sommelier, of mixologist, and keep going. So I will keep roucoule. I will keep roucouler and keep going on.
Merci Simon.
Bienvenue.
C'est drôle, le petit, c'est ça, oui. Il faut savoir que tu as les cheveux roux pour ça. C'est parfait. Merci tellement.
Ça fait plaisir.
Merci.